Good morning, passport holders. Today, April 10th, 2017, day 892 of the vlogs, and it's still Monday, which means I have a lot of content producers producing content. That stated, 1834, yesterday's vlog from Clintus is now done. Dan Martell's video from today is done. 2 smaller videos are done as well. So I've been at it for like 2.5 hours now, and I'm actually pretty excited about where that's at. Unfortunately, my right hip fell out of place, or at least it feels that way, yesterday. And since then, it's been really kind of a struggle. I've popped it in and out a couple of times over the course of the last 24 hours, and it's not a pleasurable experience every time I do. So it's making working on the treadmill desk a little bit harder, having to walk a little bit slower, give myself a little more time. That stated, I've received a couple of email requests today, first and foremost being from the internet talk show that I've been speaking with on and off for the last few weeks. It sounds like we've got a deal. I haven't been paid yet, but I've built out my initial input infrastructure so that if they were to send videos over, I can begin to do captioning on them very quickly. As it stands, though, right now, until I get paid, I'm not doing it. Haven't received anything from them anyways, but it sounds like that all systems are go. I'm speaking with the CEO of this media division in order to get paid and make that happen. The executive producer is completely on board with me, or the co-executive producer is completely on board with me doing this. We've already kind of like worked out a workflow on how they're going to get content to us, how it's going to get into the queue, how I'm going to return work back to them. So basically at this point, all we're waiting for is our first video and for me to get paid, and then we'll get to work. And given the fact that it's a short-term structure, only 5 weeks, and we're limited to 30 minutes a week, it's actually a very good deal, very profitable deal for me, and one that I'm happy to do by hand and make sure that these guys are really well taken care of, because quite frankly, I enjoy their content, so it's a fun thing for me to do, like, okay, hey, like, let's do this one little like 6-week or 5-week thing, working together, and hopefully they end up seeing the success that they want to see so that they can do a 24 episode cycle starting next fall. So super excited about that. Yeah, that's the second bit was that I've received emails from multiple members of the VaynerMedia team, because obviously I handed off all the documentation on Friday. They now know that they're responsible for doing their own captions. Getting a lot of questions, a lot of like, oh my gosh, I didn't understand what happens when I cut out like this big chunk of a video that I have to manually, or you had to manually delete every one of the captions in between. Wow. And as I've said multiple times, I don't think Andy and Gary understood what they were bringing into their house by asking their video editors to do the closed captioning for their videos. It's a time-consuming process, even if there are captions existing. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's a real possibility that if you've got a 4-minute video, it can take you anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes in order to completely do. And that's going to slow their production rate down. And either they're going to solve that by hiring more video editors, which I suspect is the way they're going to probably go, or they're going to find a different solution for captioning. They're going to dedicate 1 or 2 interns on it whose full-time jobs are going to be doing that, which that's not fair to them. But it's going to slow down their process even more than if it was working with me. So, you know, it's kind of one of these things where I gave them a super fair offer for me to continue to do all the work, and they didn't want to pay that amount. So let it go. There's definitely a part of me that wants to continue to hear the groaning and moaning from the VaynerMedia video editor side, hoping that ends up filtering up to Andy and Gary. But at the same time, I want these kids to be successful. So we'll see how this all plays out. As it stands, though, the next major thing for me to do is Ask Gary V248, obviously 40 plus minutes. I'm going to go for a quick walk, though, just to kind of get out of the house, because I've been full at it since 8 a.m. It's now 11:15. So, you know, lots of work getting done. It's been another Monday morning, but on the flip side of this, Daily V202 also was released this morning. It's about 25 minutes. So that'll be the thing that I probably get to last today, away from Clintus's final review, which I'll let slip through because today's just super busy, as all Mondays are. And so that's kind of where we're at. Let's get this one started. All right, guys, it's been a couple of hours, and I apologize I have not picked up a camera. Something came up that's actually super upsetting. But for the protection and the privacy of that individual, I won't air that out on the internet, because I'm super frustrated with it. And at the end of the day, like, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing positive that's going to come out of this. What have I done? Well, I ate lunch, watched a couple of vlogs, Got about halfway through Ask Gary 248. My hope is that I'll finish that in this next work session. All right, guys, it is 7:30 at this point, and I have been working for about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes on Daily V 203, which is 26-ish minutes, let's call it, and I am at 12 minutes flat. And the reason for that is because you have two people talking over each other incessantly in this episode. And this is one of those harder episodes, and it's going to be one of those harder episodes, and there's nothing I can do about it. That stated, I've been putting off going to the grocery store for probably 2 weeks now. I have absolutely nothing to eat in my house that would look like a real meal. So I've got to go and pick up stuff to do that. And so I'm going to go to the grocery store, pick up a couple of things, make that happen, and hopefully, get me in a position for the rest of the week that I can do all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of going to be the bit, I think. I'm going to come back after I eat dinner, though, and continue to chip at this, because with this done at some point tonight, which will happen, and Clintus's, which I've been told is being worked on and should be done within the next 2 hours, that would clear the board on a Monday, which is a special thing always. So I'm going to sit here and try and enjoy that this evening. Maybe watch a baseball game at some point once both of those are done. But for now, just off to the grocery store. Full groceries cart, complete reset in the apartment. Coming up on midnight, Daily V 203 is fully transcribed, and as you can see behind me there, being line leveled. And unfortunately, Clintus's episode just came in, literally like 2 minutes ago. I had made the decision that this was the last thing I was going to do, and then I was going to go to bed, and that came through, and there was part of me that initially said, okay, hey, let's just do it. It's a 60-minute episode. It'll be done in 20, 30 minutes, and there was like, this is part of the boundaries thing that I'm trying to get better at, is that when I'm working, and when I'm not, I'm not. I took some time off between 7 and 8, which is why I was working between 9:30 and 11:30, and why this happened. So this episode, all told, took about 3 hours in order to transcribe. It was a 26-minute episode, and that's just, once again, because of the heavy crosstalk, the heavy interruptions. And basically, they put this entire interaction between Kyle and Gary into an episode, which normally would have been a standalone thing. To me, that means that it was a pretty slow day otherwise, and that Gary really liked the content in there. And obviously, with him working with Stephanie Land, his ghostwriter, for a majority of the day, I suspect that's really where the day went, was crushing it into the right place. That said, obviously I'm done. The other thing that I did, just randomly, because I was looking at the sleep scores during one of the breaks that I take in between pieces of transcribing, and it seems pretty consistent that within about 10 minutes of my laptop going to sleep, that I wake up. And so one of the ways that I'm thinking about trying to minimize that is by slowly reducing the sound on my laptop. There is no utility, apparently. I can't believe that it doesn't exist somewhere. So I ended up writing an Apple script for it. So over the course of 100 minutes, it will reduce my volume from full to 0. And hopefully that will coincide with when I kind of start to hit that first sleep zone. So hopefully I won't be getting woken up just because there's no longer any sound, which I fall asleep to on a regular. So we'll see how all that goes. Test it out tonight, but it should work no problem. So that's gonna be my day, guys. Like, it's been highs and lows. Friends have asked for my time today that I was not expecting, needing some advice and guidance based on my experience on things, and quite frankly, I feel super fortunate that they asked. At the same time, obviously, there's some frustrations with, some stuff that I don't want to talk about, and some wins, right? This entire deal with the internet talk show is a big win. So I'm not sure how I'm going to celebrate that one. There's part of me that says, okay, hey, like, I should probably, treat myself to one of the little toys that I've been wanting, including replacing my Apple Watch. because this is a little win that could become a big win, but I need to celebrate the win, especially on the back end of having completed all the documentation for the VaynerMedia guys, and handing off all that shorty responsibility. It was really a pleasure not to have that to deal with today, as well as AskGaryV 248 and Daily V, and the 5 other files that I handled. It was really kind of very, very nice. So it stands to make for a very good Tuesday on the back end of it. But as always, thank you so much for your time and your attention. I appreciate them both. And remember, you never stumble upon opportunity by standing still. So go do cool stuff. Bye for now.